was some savage tea spilling you saw there. And this is my first spilling the tea type video. Should I just hold this in my hand the whole time? It might get awkward. My hand's starting to hurt. All right, so this isn't my normal type of video. I never thought I would make a spilling the tea video ever, but I like trends and views. All jokes aside, this video exists because I didn't have a video ready for today, but there's a good reason, which is spilling the tea point number 1. I finally had my worst travel experience ever. So as most of you know, I was away for a week out in California for VidCon, but we'll get to that. It was a great week. I had a lot of fun. Everything was going so smooth. And then we got to the airport at about 8 a.m. for an 11 a.m. flight. So we were ready pretty early and had to sit around. 10:30 comes around, we're waiting in line, and they tell us that there needs to be some plane maintenance and it won't be ready for another hour. So we waited, and then they came back and they said, hey, it's gonna take longer than we thought. Give us till like 1 o'clock. Went to go chill for a little bit, came back a little before 1, and they had another update for us. It was gonna take another hour and a half. So we were like, fine. What else are we gonna do? At this point, 2 other planes went out to the same location. It was literally just our bad luck that we booked that flight time and got stuck with that broken plane. We tried to switch to one of those other flights that would be leaving before us anyway, but they were all sold out. So okay. By the way, this was all via United Airlines. Thank you, United Airlines. Basically, I chronicled all of this on my Instagram stories. Make sure you follow my Instagram. The link is in the description below, always. But literally, on my Instagram stories, every hour, I was like, hey, they told us it was now. No, wait, it's another hour. But sometimes we got the special treat of going over and they were like, nah, 2 hours now. When they finally said that we would be officially boarding at 5:30. Our flight was originally at 11 a.m. And at this point, we didn't trust them. So we went to the customer service area to try and figure out if either we should try to take a 1 a.m. flight that still had seats on it, or just spend the night, maybe go out in LA, have a little bit of fun, not be so dead inside, and then, you know, fly out the next day. We get in line and they're like, no, we 100% promise that your flight will go out at 5:30. We were like, are you sure? 100%? And she was like, yes, it's 100%. So we didn't change. 2.5 hours later, we were finally on the plane, taking off. I was supposed to get home at 7:30 p.m. my time, like Eastern Standard Time. Instead, we got home at 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then by the time we got our bags and our car and got home, it was 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So yeah, I had originally planned to get home at a decent hour last night, have a decent sleep, wake up this morning, and get right to work making a good video for you guys today. But instead, I fell asleep at 5 a.m. and woke up at 1 p.m. just to make sure, you know, I got that 8 hours. And yeah, tea spilt on United Airlines. I will say that they said they will compensate us. Probably not for the whole thing, but hopefully most of it. We haven't filled out the forms yet because we've been so tired. But yeah, that was my fun adventure yesterday. But on to the meat and potatoes of this video, and what a lot of you wanted my take on, being that I was out there in California while it was happening, TanaCon. So I knew TanaCon was happening the same weekend as VidCon, and coincidentally, right across the street from the hotel that all of the featured creators were staying at. So even before I got out there for VidCon, I already pretty much knew how TanaCon was going to go down. But I was trying to be nice and not say anything about it, even though when I announced that I was actually going to be a featured creator of VidCon, which I was really excited about, I got a bunch of tweets and comments and things from people basically trying to tear down my excitement and be like, nah, TanaCon's where it's at, TanaCon's better, VidCon sucks. Let me take away your happiness and excitement for being invited to VidCon. But I took the high road, didn't say anything, let it happen. I honestly feel like we're in such a culture that just like, it's cool to hate on things. Like if I say, I love VidCon and I had a great experience and I'm so thankful that they invited me, there's always gonna be people that are just like, you're lame, VidCon's lame, because it's like the mainstream big thing, and you you shouldn't be excited and happy that you were invited and had a good time. That's what it felt like. It felt like I couldn't be excited to go because Tana decided to rip on VidCon, which is fine if her experience was terrible, but not everybody's experience is terrible. But yeah, maybe just think about that the next time that you want to start hating on something. Are you doing it because you actually think that you hated and you personally had a bad experience with something? Or are you doing it because you heard somebody else did and you're just trying to ride the hype train? I used to work in event throwing. I've been to a festival before on its first year, and it was a disaster. Tana decided she was going to throw a convention in a month's notice. Not only that, she was promising for your featured creators to be wandering around, for VIPs to get bags of things that were 3 times the amount of their tickets, and that everybody was gonna be a featured creator, so that there was like a level playing field. So anyway, from where I was at VidCon, I remember where I was when I heard that TanaCon had been shut down. We were taking a break at the hotel in one of the lounges there, and somebody came in and was like, "Did you hear what happened at TanaCon?" And I was like, "No, what?" And they were like, "Oh, it got shut down." And I was like, "Sounds about right." Like, not to be a jerk, I would have actually liked for it to work out. But from the start, I knew that it was a very, very slim chance that everything was going to go smoothly. And when I say I hoped it had worked out, it's more so like it would be nice to have more YouTube conventions, sure. But also, when a YouTuber does something and fails and it hits mainstream media like this did, it usually makes the group as a whole look bad. And then after I heard what had happened, the majority of us spent the rest of the day looking at Twitter feeds and hashtags and Instagram feeds of what actually went down. And again, it was pretty much what I thought was gonna happen. Now, the main point I wanted to make in this video was I did not want to tear down Tana for what she did. I get why she did it. I feel like the people that misguided her most were the yes people around her. And I had a conversation with somebody else who had the same exact thoughts as me. I don't want to say who, but they kind of explained like she had too many yes men around her being like, "Tana, this is a great idea. You could definitely throw it in a month. It could definitely be free. It could definitely be on the week that VidCon is. And you won't get mobbed from people who are just wandering down the street to see what you're up to." Like, I was at VidCon and people were like, "Oh, we should just go check out how TanaCon is." Not because they absolutely wanted to go. Most people just wanted to see what was going on. There's so many points I want to hit and I feel like I'm gonna miss most of them. Let me just spitfire a couple. The name TanaCon. If you're gonna do it again, girl, please change the name. Like, TanaCon was started to be for the creators. But again, it's still circling around one person. When you say TanaCon, you think of who created it and who's the main big creator in it. It's not for everybody. It was for Tana to get revenge on VidCon. Let's just call it how it is. 2, if the bulk of your audience and people attending are young preteen girls, maybe the best thing to give them wouldn't be a condom. Just a little uncomfortable. But that's probably the smallest piece of this. Also, don't promise that your favorite creators are gonna be just wandering around. It is a huge safety hazard, not only for the person walking around, but also for everybody else involved. There's so much I want to say about the event, and I know when I play this back, I'm gonna be like, "Oh, I should have said this or worded this differently." For being a 20-year-old girl, Tana, damn girl, you are super ambitious. And I know that this is not all on you. There was a lot of people behind you being like, "Yeah, Tana, we could definitely do this all in 1 month, and it'll be totally smooth. No worries, security's got it. We won't get bombarded with thousands of people wandering around from VidCon. This is a great idea." Like, as a friend, if Tana was my friend and she was super mad at VidCon, wanted to make her own convention, I'd be like, yeah, girl, that's a great idea. But, you know, just maybe we should tweak some stuff. Maybe we should plan a little bit more and do it next year. Maybe we should plan our own time frame and not do it around VidCon. And it's funny because so many people, now that it's all said and done, they're coming out on Twitter and they're being like, "Yeah, well, you know, it's hard to plan an event in a month." Like, where were you to help her before all this happened? But yeah, The situation as a whole is just not helpful for anybody. I don't know. I was worried to talk about this because I know she's got a big group behind her, and that's great. And like I said, this is not all on Tana. There was a ton of people behind her being like, hey, yeah, it's all gonna work out. Don't worry. Like even the company that was setting it up with her. And I don't want to anger all of those people, especially if I have any overlap in fans between me and her. But yeah, if there was any points I missed that you want to hear my opinion on, then write them in the comments below. I will try to look through and see if there's any things that I missed, but the majority you've heard already. Like about tickets sold versus what her space was actually gonna be able to handle. There not being any food or beverages ready and prepared. People standing outside and getting sunburned or fainting. I mean, you guys have seen it all. There's nothing. This is mainly just my take on it, and that I was not at all surprised when it all went down. And lastly, I feel like this video is gonna be way longer than I thought and way more editing than I thought. Lastly, VidCon. I mean, this is my first tea spillage, so I don't know if it counts as spilling tea if it's something positive. And please listen to what I have to say before you write me off and say, oh, she's just saying nice things about it because she was invited as featured creator. But VidCon was awesome this year. I was so worried about like security problems because I had heard terrible things. I was worried about like girls running and screaming everywhere. I was worried about being bored there, like between all the things that I had to do. None of those things happened. I felt super safe, number one. I didn't see any screaming running girls except for when we went to our hotel right at the same time as David Dobrik was walking by, and that was probably my first like old school VidCon experience. There was like people running into the street to try and get close to him. And I was never bored. If anything, I felt like I did way too much. They had so many different like lounges set up all over the building. They had baby animals. You guys will see a lot more because I try to vlog as much as possible, and that's gonna be going up on my second channel. So as always, make sure you're subscribed to my second channel. I put up vlogs of my life there. I will put the link in the description below. But yeah, I did hear from Pat. This was my first VidCon, so I couldn't compare it to anything else, but I had heard from multiple people who have been to multiple VidCons, and they said that this one was the most organized, the safest feeling, and just like all around a totally new and different experience that they actually really enjoyed. So I am so happy that this was my first one because I honestly have nothing bad to say. And before you write me off and be like, well, it was because you were invited, and now you're writing off people like Tana because she wasn't invited. I was never invited until this year. I didn't expect to be. I even put in to see if I could be a featured creator, and I was originally turned down. They told me no. They told me they couldn't have me this year, and I was fine with it. I was still going to go just to see what it was like and like hang out with friends and stuff. And then luckily, a little before the event, they decided to change their minds and let me come as a featured creator, where I got to meet you guys in an official organized meet and greet setting, which was awesome. I got to do panels so I could like share some of my experience and insights and things with you guys. It was just so awesome, and I can't wait for you guys to see the vlog. But for now, I thought this would be a good filler video for the day. I have to continue to record to make sure that I have videos for the rest of the week. I will definitely have a video up tomorrow. I don't know if it'll be on time yet while I try to sort through my schedule again and get used to the time change. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed my first tea spilling. Like I said, if there was any points you thought that I missed, or you want to hear what I have to say about either VidCon, TanaCon, or your most terrible delayed flight story, then leave them in the comments below. As always as well, make sure to leave a like before you go, and I will see you guys soon. Seriously though, watch out for the VidCon vlog. It's gonna be amazing.